Hey everyone, welcome to Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. This podcast is all about farmers markets. Whether you're a farmers market manager or a small farmer, food maker, or artisan crafter selling at farmers markets, you have found just the right podcast.
This episode was originally recorded in 2023, and it fits right into this month's Series 3, Sharing Stories from Farmers Market People.
This week, we're chatting with Michael Clark, Sales and Production Manager for JR Organics, about growing his farm's CSA program at the farmers market. I'm one of your hosts, Bridget Myers. I'm a longtime farmers market manager, Vendor 101 co-teacher, and education coordinator at Farmers Market Pros.
And I'm Kat Fields-White, Director of San Diego Markets, still an active farmers market manager and consultant, founder of Farmers Market Pros, and host of Intense, the Farmers Market Conference, and the Farmers Market Pros community.
And I'm Justine Marzoni-Mead, Tent Talk producer, marketing director for Farmers Market Pros, and logistics coordinator for Intense, the Farmers Market Conference.
Coming up.
Yeah, if we're lucky, Mike will bring us some strawberries like he did last year.
That's right. We had JR Organic strawberries at the last
Yeah.
conference. People love.
Highlight of the conference.
They loved it. Today's episode of Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast, is supported by Blue Owl Promos, helping market managers and vendors create additional income streams by supplying branded tote bags, hats, water bottles, and more to meet any budget. If you've attended Intense, the Farmers Market Conference, you've seen mason jar mugs, reusable utensils, notebooks, and aprons with the Farmers Market Pros logo in your swag bags, all from Blue Owl Promo. For more information on how to increase your income and your visibility, click the Blue Owl Promos logo on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
Welcome back to Tent Talk, everyone. Today, we're talking with Michael Clark, Sales and Production Manager for JR Organics. Michael is a third-generation family farmer who grew up working markets and the farm. Over the years, the business has expanded to include more farmers markets, a robust CSA program, and wholesale customers. Michael guided the farm sales through pandemic protocol changes, and he continues to work closely with his uncle, Farmer Joe Rodriguez, to manage operations. Welcome to Tent Talk, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be a part of this here. So I've listened a lot to your guys' episodes, and it's a pleasure to be on here.
We're excited to talk to you. We see Mike every week at our market. So we finally badgered him into being a guest on the podcast. So we're excited to
He's
talk
a busy
to you.
guy.
Yeah, he's very busy.
I only had to bug him every Saturday, and it wasn't that hard.
He penciled us in his schedule.
That's right.
So Mike, do you want to just start off by kind of telling us about your personal and professional background and how you got into the farmers market business besides being born right into it?
Yeah.
What drew you to stay, I guess?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I was kind of born and raised on this farm. The previous generation had already established farmers markets and selling the product. So growing up through, my high school days, I started going to farmers markets and just kind of fell in love with that relationship to the market and the customer, and just helping my uncles. I was kind of a bigger kid back then, and just loved the food at the farmers market, so they would always get me to go to the markets just by, hey, I'll buy you lunch, or hey, your favorite chilaquiles vendor is going to be there. And I mean, that was a green light for me. So I was always on board to go to the farmers market to make some money and definitely to eat some good food and, talk to people about what we did here at the farm. So
Are you
that's
telling
kind
me
of
that
what-
farmers don't just eat fresh produce?
well, we do, of course. Chilaquiles, yes.
You got to balance it out with some chocolate croissants
That's right.
and lemonade.
Definitely all that great food. But yeah, I mean, I've always liked, going to the farmers markets, and after high school, just kind of started getting serious about taking on the role of helping the farm out. So attended a little bit of a college here at this JC and took on a market. I ended up taking over for one of my cousins that started doing a new market, and I took over the Little Italy farmers market back in 2010. So I've been going to that one consistently, as you guys know. That's been my first market that I kind of took over. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of where it all began. Little by little, just taking on more roles and helping out where I can, and just seeing the being able to take on more customers and just the expansion of what we could offer.
Yeah, you do such a great job there, and you seem to have a good handle on like what works at the market and how to set up displays and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's in your blood, and then I think you've also done a really great job being there at the market. So you're also like the sales and production manager. So I know you do other wholesale stuff. So what does your day-to-day look like, and how many markets are you doing a week?
Yeah, so the farm does 17 farmers markets throughout the week.
Wow,
We
my
do
God.
five Tuesday through Thursday. And then Mondays we're resting from the weekend. Tuesday, Thursday we do 5. And then Friday we're preparing for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday we do 5 farmers markets and a roadside stand. And then Sunday we do 6. So
We'd like to make that 7, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we have another one for
We'd
you.
like to make that 7, by the way. We have a Sunday market now.
I wish. It's incredibly hard with just having the staffing for all these farmers markets. I mean, every single week we're always scratching to see who can go where and kind of making that placement. That's part of my job, is just to make sure everybody has enough staff. And, as the product comes on, it's definitely required to have, staffing at the farmers market, because selling these watermelons and all these other 100 items at the farmers market it's definitely a workload.
Yeah, you guys do a good job, I think, training. I know a lot of your staff is family, and then you have other people that come in and work. My daughter worked there for a couple days.
She couldn't hang.
A few minutes. Yeah.
She was good in a pinch for a minute.
Great job.
Yeah, it's a good experience for her. But what do you do on the like sales side too? Because I know a lot of your job is.
Yeah. So, I mean, I sell to a lot of the local grocery stores and to some local distributors as far as like some restaurants around here. So my biggest job and role is to, kind of check the inventory on the field before I'm making these sales. So I'm definitely going around the fields, talking to, our field workers and looking at the fields myself to just manage and make sure we have enough product to sell, and just coordinate the load list for all the farmers markets and coordinating the loading for all the markets and material supplies, just to have enough for what we do.
Do you personally work more than one market? How many markets do you work?
So I used to do, before the pandemic, I did 4 to 5 farmers markets through the week. That was like my main role. And I would sell wholesale on the side. Now I strictly do 2 farmers markets, Little Italy, and I do Hillcrest Saturday and Sunday. And then Monday through Friday, I'm here at the farm. I mean, I got so much going on that I have to be here, kind of just in the mix of things. Work super closely with my Uncle Joe. He has kind of retired from sales and he just wants to grow. And he's a great grower. I mean, he's been doing this all his life. So I'm there pushing him to grow some items. And I get to sell the product, which is a lot of fun, but a little stressful sometimes.
You grow so much. How many acres do y'all have now?
Yeah.
So yeah, we have 130 acres now.
Wow.
And it's all certified organic, which is kind of rare nowadays.
Yeah, that's amazing. I want to point out to our listeners who are not in Southern California, that is a gigantic farm in Southern California. So,
It is.
in the Midwest, I know there's farmers out there who are at markets that, have a couple hundred acres because they're running cattle and things, but that's not what we do here exactly. We mostly do fruits and vegetables, and that's a ton of acreage.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely a production farm, and we're moving through the seasons. It's all, like I said, certified organic, but we are seasonal. So we grow from, tomatoes, everything's row crop. So tomatoes, watermelon, cantaloupe, squash, cucumbers. Our top 3 items would be strawberries, tomatoes, cucumbers, and squash. So those are the items we try to keep on our table as long as possible, 10 months out of the year, which is unusual to the rest of the nation.
Yeah, also unusual for those folks.
Everyone's like,
listening in the
10
Midwest or
months? You can
Vermont.
grow anything, 10 months?
It's amazing.
It's wild.
Yeah. Our season starts as early as March and goes all the way till like November, December sometimes, depending on the weather.
Yeah, and then you guys have things like beets and greens and all those other things because you guys have full tables year round for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. In the winter, we're focused on broccoli, cauliflower, and your beets and carrots, snap peas, all your winter and spring veg that you can. So, but we're also growing zucchini in our winter time because, we try to have it as first of spring as possible. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of those beautiful tables at your farmers markets that are always filled, it takes a lot of workers to make that happen. So, since you no longer are working 4 to 5 markets a week, good for you. How many people do you have on your market team? Like of your pool of people that go to markets, how many are in that crew?
Yeah. Quite a bit, honestly. To run 17 farmers markets, you need a lot of help. And we have a huge family, and a lot of our family helps out, if it's a 1 day a week or 2 days a week. But there's a core group that really helps out. My brother, my cousin, and actually a couple of my cousins that help out and do multiple farmers markets throughout the week. They each have their crew of 2 to 3 people that are full time, and these full time employees also help out here at the farm with packing or sorting and doing some deliveries here and there. So we definitely have about 15 full time employees that help with markets and other things. And then, we have about 15 others that just help us on a 1 day basis. But yeah, this to do farmers markets is a lot of,
Wow, that's a
work, a
crew.
lot of labor.
Yeah.
So, do you think like the majority of the people that help out at markets, they're like cross-trained in other departments or like they're working on the farm in another capacity?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's the 15 of that are full time. They're cross trained in, packing work and sorting and loading the trucks versus some of these employees that help us at the market. They only show up to do, farmers market, if they're a salesperson or they help cashier or they're doing some sorting at the farmers market. So yeah, we try to cross train everybody as much as we can, but it's a lot of hours that you put in.
Yeah, for sure.
That just makes your salespeople so much more effective at the market when they've been on the farm and they really understand the produce.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely it helps out.
Yeah, and another part I feel like JR has so dialed in is they're all wearing like a little uniform. There's really like cohesive branding. Is that something that you've always done, or is that something that you brought in and you're managing the markets?
We have a screen printing neighbor that makes t-shirts and makes things for us, signs. I don't know if you've seen our market truck has a big logo on it now. So he's grown his business and kind of helped us out. And, he's made t-shirts for us for the longest time now. And I'm kind of the one behind it where I feel like, hey, we should advertise as we're at the markets, as we're talking to people. And plus, it just looks a lot cleaner wearing a nice shirt, with JR Organics across the front. So,
Yeah, that's so
yeah,
smart. That's something we really encourage, and that's great that you have a neighbor that can hook you up. You can kind of cross promote your businesses
yeah,
together.
we trade them for vegetables here and there, and it works out.
Ooh, gotta love that.
That's great. You guys also have like you always have really beautiful displays. Your tables are always very full. And part of what your crew does a good job of is kind of, refilling things. And then as something sells out or as the day goes on, kind of removing stuff to kind of always have it look really tidy. Do you have like a specific method or philosophy behind your displays to keep them looking lush at the markets?
I mean, everybody does their market differently, but the way that I see it is if it looks nice, looks clean, it doesn't look thrown apart, customers will be attracted to that, and if it's nice and full, customers will definitely come in and, you don't even have to say hi or welcome in, if they see it, they're attracted to it. So they'll come. So I really push that on my staff on keeping things up. If you sell 1 or 2 baskets, let's replace them, let's focus on that. But not only at the market, but also at the farm. We have 20 to 30 employees here at the farm that do a lot of the prep work, where, we're selling cilantro and that cilantro is harvested, bundled, cut, washed and cleaned and packaged. So the guy at the farmer's market can simply just take it out of the box and put it on the table and it's already been cleaned and washed. Some of these peppers and these other items, they're pre-sorted here at the farm. And I know sometimes it's hard because you don't have the time to sort everything, but we really invest the time here at the farm to try to take your best of show to these farmers markets to try to sell them. I mean, it's our best outlet is a farmers market. So we profit the most on each item. So why not take the best? That's kind of my philosophy and how I do our farmers markets.
Yeah, that's so helpful. I mean, especially if you're having a really busy day, you don't want your market staff to have to be bagging stuff or sorting stuff at the market. Maybe like on a slow day, it's nice to have that extra, time to prep, but that is really good, like thinking ahead and make sure you're setting your team up. Um,
Yeah.
in general, like what do you think the benefits of selling produce at markets versus other revenue streams? I know you guys also sell to grocery stores, you sell to some restaurants, and we're going to talk in a second about your awesome CSA program. But if you were going to like pitch farmers markets to another farmer, what would you say the biggest pros of farmers markets are?
The biggest pros is probably that relationship you create with the customer, that you're able to take your product there, you're profiting the most. So it puts a big smile on your face, and creating that relationship with the customer that's taking it home and eating it themselves, and they're enjoying it, and they come back, every single week and support what you're doing. So it definitely benefits the farm. It's definitely our greatest source of income is going to farmers markets. But yeah, just that relationship you're able to create with customers and getting them, to come back week to week, in different areas. You're going to Little Italy, or you're going to Poway or to Hillcrest, and it's within walking distance of their house. So for them, it's quite easy to come out and, shop. But yeah, no, that's definitely, yeah.
But you're actually in markets in several counties, right? Are you still
Yeah, we
doing
do.
Los Angeles and Orange County markets as well?
Yeah, as labor got tight, we had to drop some of these Los Angeles markets, but we're still operating a farmers market in Los Angeles and in Manhattan Beach. So we do Mar Vista on Sundays and then Manhattan Beach on Tuesdays. But that's an early start for us here at the
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah, it's a big drive, I know. Are you in Santa Monica still?
We're not. We ended up
Okay.
dropping that one.
Gotcha.
We used to do that one. I mean, for probably 25, 30 years, we did that farmers market for a long time, and it became super hard to find people to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and to come back to the farm at 6.
Right, because it's such a long drive. So
Uh,
when you look at all the counties you do and all the markets, you're doing 17 markets, but that's probably out of a pool of 50 markets that would love to have you, or 60 markets that would love to have you. How do you decide which markets to do? What can a farmer's market manager do to attract you to a market and to keep you in the market once you're there?
Kat is
yeah.
asking for herself.
What's that? Yeah, asking for a friend.
We already know some things because you've been in so many of our markets.
Yeah, I mean, having a really good market manager and someone that is going to help the farmer out is something that I look for. Definitely on the fees and the rate that we're charged. It's got to be affordable. We all know that farmers markets, when they start, they're extremely hard to get established. So everybody wants to be in the biggest, best market that there is, and I know it's a little tough with the arsenal of product that we have. Everybody wants us in their farmers markets. So we do kind of pick and choose the best ones that we can be in, the most profitable, and the ones that are close enough to home. It's hard to find people to like we were saying, going all the way up to Los Angeles to do a farmer's market. Yeah, you can pay them a good amount, but it doesn't make it worth it on a 15-hour day.
Right.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, I mean, looking for a good manager that knows what they're doing, and that's super helpful. That's super helpful.
Well, we'll take that as a compliment that you're at our market.
That's right.
Yes.
Awesome. So I know that during so you've had a really robust CSA program for a long time, right? How long have you been doing CSA? Before a lot of
Yes.
people were.
Since 2005, we kind
Yeah.
of started it. So it started really small, just at one farmer's market. We had a good customer of ours, present this idea to Joe and to my family. And we weren't really a fan of people prepaying for their vegetables. We just didn't think it was something people would want to do. And she really pushed it. And my uncle said, okay, well, you know what? If you can run the business and operate it, and let's try it. So they tried it at Hillcrest, and, it started there. And then she made a pamphlet and started pushing it at our other farmers markets. And Um, got some other businesses to become drop sites for our CSA program. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's
So how many members do you have now in your CSA?
our CSA
Roughly.
right now, roughly about 250
Yeah.
members a
I
week.
mean, that's
Wow,
crazy,
that's
right? That's a
really,
lot of
really
boxes.
awesome.
And are most of your pickup points at farmers markets or are they elsewhere?
It's a mix. It's a mix. I mean, we started with farmers markets only, and then we did drop sites, and now we do home deliveries as well. We do charge, for the fuel. I mean, $10 per box to get delivered. We pick the day of the week that it gets delivered to your house. But our main, yeah, I would say our farmers markets hold definitely the most amount, and drop sites. It's a little mix of everything.
And what are the pros and cons? Like what's the advantage of doing a pickup at a farmer's market?
Yeah, so there's a lot of pros at the market, and I always encourage it because, for one, it saves the farm money. We're already going to the farmers markets. We get to bring the customer in and talk to them face to face. They get to meet me or any market staff member. Just creates a little closer relationship. They also get to pick and choose. They can exchange a couple items, so they can pick and choose from our market stand. So if they didn't want cilantro in the box that was packed that week, they can exchange it for parsley or arugula or something that we have already at our display. So um, that's super helpful. Customers really, really like that. And maybe the con would be, maybe there's just other farms there that they go look at instead, and maybe that leads them to buy from someone else. But
Which is a
I
pro for the market. So, we talk to market managers all over the country, and there's some market managers that are really hesitant to allow CSA pickups at markets because they don't want people to just go straight to one farm. They want them to shop the whole market. And we're always trying to explain, no, it doesn't work like that. They come to pick up their box, and then they're going to look at what else is also available at the market and look at other types of vendors and
Oh,
part of their
definitely. I
grocery.
mean, I would say 95% of our customers don't only just pick up our box. Like, they're buying a box from us, but then they're going down the way and getting other items that we don't have, if it's eggs or meat or cheese, and then they walk through the market. Some of them come check in, they say, okay, I'll be right back. And they walk the market with their family and come back and pick up their box. So I think it definitely encourages other sales if they come to the farmer's market.
Yeah, I think that just makes so much sense. So we're a flat rate market, so it doesn't affect us. But one of the other pushbacks we hear is that people that run markets where they're charging a percentage of sales to the farmers and vendors can't quite wrap their heads around how they manage that. So when you're being charged a percentage, are you paying a percentage on the CSA or do you not do that because that money's being taken off-site, on your online system or what have you?
Yeah, it's a little tricky there. We definitely include it into some of our sales at some markets. And then some of them are a flat rate. Like, hey, you have a CSA box, it's $3 per box, so they figure out what percentage we need to do. But yeah, we definitely include it into our sales.
Oh,
If
you
we
do?
have 10 boxes, yeah, we're definitely including it.
Yeah.
Because it varies week to week. It's not always the same.
Right.
Some customers are biweekly, some of them are weekly.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Did the home delivery thing start during the pandemic? Did you have to make a lot of changes during the pandemic?
Yeah,
Your
so
CSA ran?
a little background on our CSA. I mean, we started with, just one farmer's market. And then before the pandemic, we had about 150 boxes that we were packing out throughout the week. Pandemic hit and we rose to 500 boxes.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
it was pretty exciting to pack these boxes, especially because the farmers markets kind of closed down. So all this excess product, was funneled right into the CSA program. So we were able to fulfill, and I think it grew to like 550 was our peak. But then as markets opened up, people were canceling on the box.
Okay, so you did drop back off after it got up that high. I like how you have such a positive way of framing things because I think a lot of farmers that went from 200 some boxes to 500, and we've had vendors that did that too during the pandemic, would not necessarily call it exciting. They might call it terrifying or difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big farm that we operate here, so we have a lot of product. We sell to grocery stores as well, so that extra product's always going to the store. So we just kind of cut back on the store orders, funneled it into our CSA. Hardest part was, you know, delivering all these boxes, making that home deliveries. We were delivering almost 200 boxes a week. So we had to buy a couple extra vehicles and hire some drivers. But a lot of our farmers market staff, we brought them on to help pack boxes. So we kept everybody employed by, that CSA. Thankfully, we had a good infrastructure and we've been doing CSAs. So to expand, we kind of had a good feel for how to do it.
Yeah, you're really good position for it. I know a lot of farmers, when the pandemic dropped and some markets closed, they were suddenly scrambling, trying to figure out a system, which you already had a system. You just needed to expand.
Yeah, we had just launched our software and our online store, so it just so happened to work out. But it was a lot of orders at that time.
Yeah, it was good timing. Yeah, it was good timing. It was good for the market too, because we could kind of tell people, oh, some of our farmers have CSA boxes. If you don't want to spend a lot of time at the market, like pre-order your box, you can pick it up and just be real quick when you're coming in, when there was like those long lines to come in. I know I signed up for a CSA box for JR because I was working the markets, but I was like planted at that entrance or that exit all day. And I was like, I didn't want to worry about shopping and picking stuff up. So I would just go to someone's house in Mission Hills and pick up a box off their porch. It was very strange.
Yeah.
But it was really helpful because then I could still get my produce. And, even though I was seeing it at the market. So.
And the CSA boxes helped us because during high pandemic protocols, we were only allowed to have X number of humans on the street at any one time. We had to count them in and out. So having JR's boxes available you could just run in and pick it up. You didn't spend a ton of time in the market, which meant other people were waiting in line to get into the block. Or I think with some of the markets we set it up where they could pass CSA boxes out the back.
At the back, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
those were some crazy times. Those were definitely crazy for sure. Yeah.
Let's not go back there.
Let's not go back there, but I'm glad that your numbers stayed relatively high. And I think a lot of people were introduced to this whole concept of, oh, I can get a lot of produce from a local farmer and that's better. It tastes better and it's easier. So I think that you guys did a great job of like spreading that knowledge about CSA to just the community in general.
Yeah, it definitely helped out. People got to experience local food and taste the difference, when all these other outlets kind of shut down. I mean, our CSA rose, but they got to try the food and it was so fresh that I think that's what kind of made the big difference, and we've been able to hold 250 customers for the past couple of years now. So, and it's rising, I think people are more aware. Farmers market sales are great. Customers are leading into CSA and supporting the farm directly.
And did you see some of those CSA customers, even though they canceled their membership, did you see them convert to farmers market shoppers or, still buying the other ways?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. They canceled from the CSA, and there's some people that just want to pick and choose their items. They want to experience the farmers market. That's what they do every Saturday morning. So they get up out of bed and they come to the farmers market, So, we saw a lot of people cancel, but at the farmers market.
I always get really happy every time I walk past your booth and notice that you advertise your CSA program in your booth at the farmers market. I think that's a huge missed opportunity if farmers don't tell their shoppers that they could also purchase a CSA. So good on you for having those signs up.
Yeah. Even though we're so busy selling and making, quick sale here and there, I mean, the CSA is where the farm benefits the most. So we educate our staff and we tell them, we have a pamphlet that we hand out to anybody interested, and we showcase the box as much as we can. But it's an easier sale for us. Customers come in and out where it's guaranteed money. They sign up for a subscription, so your customer is going to be there. So it's definitely the way to go for us farmers.
Mm-hmm. So you're actually in this area one of the few farmers anymore that's officially organic certified.
Yeah.
So we had more back, 14 years ago when we started the market, and we saw some farmers with great integrity actually drop out of the organic certification program for a variety of reasons. Either the cost, it's not easy, it's not cheap to maintain that certification. Some of them also had issues with some changes to the USDA regulations and, felt like it wasn't representing the same thing that it used to. But you've chosen to hold on to that certification. And I think it's probably especially important when you're selling to grocery stores or to restaurants where they don't have that face to face with the farmer all the time and need something to prove to them, what the methods of production are. How long ago did y'all switch to organic certification? And can you tell us a little bit about why you've chosen to stay with that?
Yeah, well, Joe, I mean, this is his business. He's the owner and operator. He, kind of grew up in the chemical years where in the 80s they were big on spraying the crops and, going through using GMO seeds. And that was kind of the new thing. So he worked under his dad at that time, and they used a lot of those sprays. He unfortunately got sick and became ill. So he really looked into the organics. And in 1986, when CCOF was established, he jumped on board and became part of their kind of trial. And he became certified organic in 1986. And we've remained organic, just, paying their fees, getting a farm advisor, getting somebody here to kind of guide us through that. It's extremely hard to be organic. You do lose a crop here and there. Seed price is extremely expensive compared to non-organics, treated seeds, GMO seeds. So in that factor, yes, it is more expensive. But our prices do reflect that. We choose to charge, more because we have to. All the work it takes to become organic, besides the fees, I have someone dedicated to making sure that we're up to date with all our record keeping. Anything you spray in the field, your fertilizer, your seed buying, all that has to be noted. And a lot of these farmers, they don't want to put in that work. They decide on growing and just telling customers, yeah, it's almost organic, or it's non-sprayed, no chemicals, but there's nothing that's really certifying that. So, I mean, that's what's kept us going. And customers like that. Customers do like that we're truly certified organic. It's not a gray area when they come into my booth. And that's something we really take pride on is, yeah, we've been certified organic since 1986. And the whole farm is certified organic. So it definitely puts us on a different level, I think, of farmers market vendors being certified organic. There's less and less of them at every single market, where it becomes kind of misinterpreted. Some customers shop at a stand that says it's chemical or pesticide free, and they think that's organic. That's not always the factor, and sometimes it is the farmer selling that product being truthful, but then sometimes it's a middleman person, or it's a peddler or somebody else that's in between, so they don't really know what's going on at the farm. They know what the customer wants, so they say what the customer wants, but are they really no spray or no chemicals? So for us, we definitely take pride in being certified organic. We're certified by CCOF, and we continue to be.
Yeah, it's the one way the customer, I mean, if your customer has a lot of time to investigate and know who they're talking to, they can determine that kind of thing. But the organic certification really just nails it. That they've gone through a tremendous amount of certification. I was talking to an older farmer who was saying that CCOF was saying, well, just have your compliance officer do this paperwork. And he's on a relatively big farm, but on smaller farms, it's like, compliance officer? I don't have a compliance officer. So, it's extra staffing and time that you have to devote to that, right?
Oh, definitely. No, definitely. There's, like I said, my cousin, she's full time on, making sure paperwork is all in line, because when they come and they inspect your farm, you have to have everything. I mean, they charge you to come to the farm. So every time they have to come back to reevaluate something, they're going to charge you. So we have to have everything in compliance. And there's a guidebook that tells you, how and, what you can and cannot use. But that it becomes tricky because, if you have a bug infestation, you can use something and spray it and you get rid of that bug. For us, we can't, so we use beneficials or whatever they advise us to use for that particular insect. So it just takes it to a different level of farming. But, we can guarantee there's no sprays, no chemicals, and it's a non-GMO seed.
Yeah. It's a big benefit and a lot of customer education, I think, at the market, because we get that question a lot, or we'll hear things like, oh, it's all local farmers, they're all organic. They think that like local farm means organic farm.
Or that certified
farm.
producers means that you're certified organic.
Yeah.
We explain that 1,000
so
times.
many times. Yeah.
It just means they've certified that you grow. Yeah. Not that you're certified organic. That's an extra word.
Yeah.
Has to be in there to establish that.
So market managers really have to do a lot of that education too. And we try to really make that clear to the customers, and then they can make a choice.
And to the farmers.
Yes. And we don't say, you know, one is better or another for you. It's you need to make a choice about that. What do you want yourself to eat? What do you want your family to eat? This is what each farm is doing. So,
but making an informed choice.
Yes, informed
Educated
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the certified farms and the local farms definitely have the upper hand at the farmers market, because some of these other farmers they consider themselves local, but they're coming from San Luis Obispo, and they're bringing product all the way down to San Diego and selling that product. And sometimes it's a price issue, you know, where they're able to bring it down and sell it for close to the organic price, but undercut the price, and it's not grown organically, you know, and they say it's no chemicals, no sprays. So I think just education is huge. And farmers market, you know, managers, please help us out, you know, make sure that they're actually growing with no sprays, no chemicals, because that's a big factor that customers look for. You know, they don't want to buy something with sprays or chemicals when, you know, that's what they're looking for. Yeah.
Always an interesting issue.
Yeah.
So
It is.
just to kind of wrap up. So tell us a little bit about the pros and cons of working in a family business.
Yeah, family business. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has its pros. We all get along for most of the part, but I mean, it's great to have that support. You know, to have the support of your family is like no other. To have Joe's support, my grandpa, you know, they definitely put a lot of weight on us, this new generation, to keep things going, because they've done it already, but me, I'm always pulling my family into it. Like, hey, help us out, do this, do that, you know. And I think the reason we're so big is because we have such a huge pool of family. I have to work with my younger brother every single day, and it's not always easy, but you know, he's the best salesman you'll ever meet. You know, he knows the product really, really well, and he works hard. He works extremely hard, and that's something that the farmers markets, it's not meant for everybody. Picking up and putting out tables and unloading trucks and selling on your feet for, you know, 8 hours it's hard work. It is, especially for the size that we are. I mean, we operate literally with 6 people sometimes. So,
and they're still having to pedal to keep up because they're so busy. Yeah, they're still rolling. But so that's a thing. A lot of what's happening all across the country really is that the older farmers are aging out and they're retiring or they're passing, and the new generation doesn't necessarily want to keep farming. It's hard work, and they decide, you know, I'm gonna go to college and get me a real job, you know, just doing something else. So there's a lot of family farms that are disappearing for that reason. Are you pretty confident that your generation will be able to keep JR Organics going and growing?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. That's always been my dream and my passion. Is this is the food of the future, is to be organic and to be pure. And, you know, you find those people that really want clean food, local food, you know, a trustworthy source. So that's why, you know, I'm always encouraging my uncle, hey, we got to grow potatoes. We got to grow what people want, because they want us to grow it, not anybody else. They want us because they trust us, you know. So we're always growing new items this year, some garlic, some actual sweet potatoes, and some, we're doing some little fingerling potatoes. So those things that customers want. But
oh, that's awesome. I mean, we're always looking for that.
That's been my passion, and my goal is I kind of see like my elders, they're getting older and they're getting tired of doing this legwork. So I'm trying to establish the business as much as I can, and getting into the stores and to restaurants and just growing the family business and the name, just to keep us going.
Yes, we're really grateful that you do. I mean, we need to keep farmers farming, so we all have real food. Your uncle also has been really generous with other young farmers in the area, I know. So we've had other young farmers, Farmer Murph and such, tell us that they ran into a bind, and Joe Rodriguez would go out and give them seedlings or replant their
Plant his whole
fields or
field.
teach them how to keep going. So
Yeah.
the fact that your family has such an investment in keeping us all supplied with real clean food is admirable, and we truly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, Joe has the biggest heart of us all. I mean, if you meet Joe, you'll definitely fall in love with him. He still does one of the farmers markets every single week. He's at Solana Beach. But like you said, we're here to help out, to feed the community, to, do it the right way, organically as possible.
Great.
And you guys are expanding your family too, so we can have young
That's
farmers.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I can't do farmers markets forever. So starting.
You have to have kids so they can work for you. That's what my mom did. She had kids so we could run the restaurant and we can run whatever business she's ready to pass on.
Honored system.
That's right.
Farmers will be the first to tell you. Yeah. So we're looking forward to congratulating you on the birth of your first child. So
Yeah.
be excited.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you. Yeah.
excited.
Next month I'll be missing from the farmers market. So
Just one day. That's all you get. Okay.
Yeah, that's your paternity leave.
yeah, exactly. So
Hey, thanks for being with us today, Mike.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to see you at the markets, and it was great to get a chance to talk to you when we can all sort of pay attention for a minute as opposed to doing it in between customers.
yeah, right on. Thank you. It's been an honor being on here.
Great.
Thanks, Mike. See you
Yeah,
soon.
see you
Bye.
Saturday.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Tent Talk today, and big thanks to Blue Owl Promos for supplying farmers market vendors and operators with everything from food packaging and uniform shirts like they use at JR Organics to branded merchandise, and for supporting Tent Talk, the farmers market podcast. To get more information or to place your order, click the Blue Owl logo on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
Whether you're a farmer, food maker, or market manager, you still have a few days to register for the 9th annual Intense, the National Farmers Market Conference. Use the Register Now button on the homepage at farmersmarketpros.com, and we'll see you in San Diego a week from today.
Please leave us a review on your podcast app or wherever you listen to Tent Talk. Let us and others know how you're enjoying the podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of Tent Talk. Connect with fellow farmers market folks in our private Facebook group, the Farmers Market Pros Community, and follow us on Instagram at Farmers Market Pros. Find online education and other resources at farmersmarketpros.com. Tent Talk is brought to you by Farmers Market Pros, where passion meets profit. Tent Talk is hosted by Kat Fields White and Bridget Myers and produced by Leandra Hayes, with original music by David Mead. Tune in next week for another great episode.